Bonjour, Africa. We are midway into week 6 of 2019, and the action doesn't stop. It just gets better. It's been a very busy sporting week. New England Patriots beat the Los Angeles Rams 13-3 in the Super Bowl this past Sunday. Liverpool are feeling the heat in the Premiership as they shattered to a draw against mid-table West Ham United. And the South African cricket team have enjoyed a very successful summer against Pakistan. Now back to tonight. It's a warm Zimbabwe. Welcome to Lady Zihlo.
Hello, darling. Hello. Hello.
What's up? How you doing? You look great. You look great.
Thank you. I see that you kind of try to copy me, but clearly I look better. So.
Look, I told Kandai that, listen, I need to get my fashion skills, but I think Zihlo, you are winning it so far.
Thank you so much. How are you? You good?
I'm great. I'm happy, and I know that we've got a great show lined up for the guests.
Indeed, and I'm looking forward to it. We've got a really fun show coming up. But before we get into it, and before we introduce to you our guests, don't forget you can follow us on all our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, the World Wide Web at Kwese.com.
All right, it's time to intro our guest tonight. We are staying on two wheels and what has become somewhat of a theme over the last few weeks, motorbikes and motocross.
Yes.
It's a father and son combination all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. It's a hashtag welcome to Graham and Tristan Hedgcock. Oh yes, I forgot to do that. Welcome. This is beautiful.
Yes.
This is just great. It's great to have you guys.
Thanks very much. Great
Welcome, guys.
to be here.
Wow, Tristan, 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
And you're involved in motocross, motorbiking, right?
More towards enduro cross country.
Oh my God, I love how he corrected me with that, because I said motocross and
Get it right, Arthur.
right? Oh, this is lovely. So Graham, let's start off with you. Racing and especially enduro riding has been a part of your life for so many years. Where did it all start?
Well, it started off quite a long time ago, 15 odd years ago. But you know, it's all about the speed and the passion.
Yeah.
And you know, just the whole vibe. It's got us going. It's a nice family environment. And yeah, the sport's got a lot to offer.
Fantastic.
Now, what's the difference between motocross and enduro? Because, I mean, many people will probably be confused.
Motocross is raced on a track that you can actually sit and you can basically see the entire track all in one, whereas enduro, it's ridden over mountains, natural terrain. It's a much longer track, 20, 30, 40 kilometers long, and also the race is over a longer period of time, up to 3 hours sometimes.
So for like, in layman terms, it's like the marathon of like speed biking, kind of.
Exactly.
Wow. And how do people get involved in the sports? What are the accesses to certain places where this type of sport is on offer?
It's actually, it's not the easiest sport to get involved in. Obviously, it's a financial hurdle that one needs to
overcome.
reach, you know, and it mainly stems from friends and family that ride, and then you get involved and you pulled in, and you pull friends in and you pull family in, and then they get involved in their families, and that's basically how it starts off.
Wow, so how did you pull Tristan into this? Because, I mean, you speak about family and, you know, young kids getting involved in it. So I'd love to hear that story. How about Tristan tells us, eh?
It's a very interesting story, actually. I mean, from the time I was born, I've known that my dad has ridden, and I can still remember seeing one of the pictures of me as still a little baby wrapped in the blankets at the track.
Oh,
and it was actually
cool.
wet, and I was just sitting on the bike there, and I was on the bike, and he was warming the bike up. It was...
Well, I'm sure as a little child you thought, Dad, oh my goodness, like it's raining, it's windy out there. What are we doing out on the dirt road? And obviously that's how your passion then began.
Probably. I mean, I can't really remember because I was probably 2 or something.
Yeah.
But I was probably thinking it was...
All right, and what made it so different to, I mean, your other friends possibly grew up, you know, getting involved with football, rugby, cricket, athletics perhaps.
Yeah.
Why did enduro sport take you?
To tell you the honest truth, I really like climbing on my bike. And I love the nerve when you're sitting on the start line and you've got a guy next to you, and then you've got 25 riders behind you, and you've got sometimes 4 riders in front of you.
Wow.
And you're just waiting there, and everyone's revving and they're waiting, and then you start, and as they drop the flag to start, everything goes away.
Wow.
It just goes quiet.
Wow, and that's a
Passion.
feeling you live for every day.
love it.
Oh, Z.
Now, Graham, going back to you, now you have completed like 9 Roof of Africa races. How grueling is that? And actually, let's start again. What are these 9 Africa races?
Well, grueling is a bit of an understatement. It's known across the world as one of the toughest extreme enduros, ever to have been introduced. It's a 3-day event, and it's basically held in the mountains of Lesotho.
Oh.
So it's right on our back doorstep. So we've had the privilege of competing in it, and I've competed in 9, but I've only completed 8.
Wow.
Unfortunately, one I had a broken hand and I didn't finish, but by far one of the most grueling races I've ever competed in.
Wow, I mean, you broke your hand. How did you handle, still being mentally fit to return to doing what you love? I mean, surely it takes a lot.
I actually broke my hand a month before, and I thought that, I've paid all the money, I've got the entrance, I've got the pit.
Tristan is laughing there like,
dying.
you should have done that.
We've got this all, I've got this under control, fine. And then by midway through the second day and, a couple of pain tablets later, I just realized that I couldn't hold on to the bike anymore. I was going to get injured, I was going to get hurt. So I pulled off and I found a back route and headed home. It's probably one of the only races I've ever quit, or DNF'd since I started. And yeah, it's a hard, tough feeling, but that's how it goes.
What's been the hardest of the 9 races that you competed in?
The hardest, I would definitely say, I think it was 2006. It was an exceptionally difficult year. The track setters don't always get it 100% right. And in the mountains of Lesotho, you've got extreme weather changes. And that year especially, they went to a really high altitude of over 2,500 meters. And the mist came in. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't follow anything. And then it starts getting a little bit creepy when you're racing full speed and like soup. So
I actually like the fact that you gave us that visual of the mist and everything. But like, what was going through your mind as you're on that bike and you're like, oh my days, I can't see anything.
And there's drop-offs, there's cliffs, there's mountains all the way around. It's hardcore, but it's fun. It's what drives us.
But that's the thing that I'd like to understand, this adrenaline rush that, most motorcyclists kind of have. You don't mind breaking your arm, you don't mind breaking your leg. Where does it come from? Where does it come from?
To tell you the honest truth, I think once somebody's experienced speed, it either bites you or it doesn't. And once it's bitten, it's bitten.
Yeah.
And then it's just basically choosing whether or not you're in one form of motorsport or the next. And this was the sport that I ended up in. And
wow, and it took you by storm. All right, great. Let's talk about the Red Bull Romaniacs and how that went.
That was a dream of mine. For a number of years, the mates had been talking about it, and then in the beginning of 2012, I decided, let's do this. So with 5 months to go, I got myself into shape, went over to Romania, to the town of Sibiu. It's a 5-day event, and it absolutely blew my mind. It's right up in the mountains, completely different to the Roof of Africa. It's wet, it's muddy, it's slippery.
How's an international competition? Competing with these world-class riders.
It's so surreal. You're standing on the start line there, and to your right, you've got guys, legends, Johnny Walker, Graham Jarvis, Wade Young. And it just blows your mind that you've actually, especially at my stage of my life back then, I was much older than majority of the field, and I was a privateer. So to just be on the start line with those guys is just like power. Yeah, exactly what you need. I mean, Tristan, how does it sound hearing your dad, just express all these wonderful tours he's had and, wonderful moments in his career? What does that do for you?
To me, it's a motivation to get to the race and do it one day. And to tell you the honest truth, like Roof of Africa, I've had this dream, and Wade Young has also done it. But he was the youngest person to complete, and he didn't just complete it, he won it at the youngest age. So I want to do that, but I want to see if I can do it in a shorter time than he did it.
Wow. And how fast is short?
When the race, my dad says like 9 to 10 hours a day, and he did it in, let's say, a 22-hour in total over the 3-4 days. I want to do it in 19 hours or 18 hours.
One of the things that Tristan is still going to learn is that weather conditions, track changes, safety protocol gets changed. Tracks change all the time. So although he wants to beat Wade's time and beat the guys there, it's always going to be determined by the natural environment, what you do, and the track that could have been changed over the years, and it does get changed almost every year. So
yeah, Z.
He's in for a big wake-up call.
Yeah, it's a massive wake-up call.
Now, you told us about your love at first bike experience, right, earlier on. So I want to know, how do you just pretty much get ready for a race? How do you exercise? How do you train? What's your day like when you wake up in the morning?
So I can even use today as an example. So today at 4:45, my dad woke me up, and we call it a pig bike because it's absolutely horrible to ride it. But it's basically a machine where you pedal like a bicycle, but then you move your arms at the same time. And to do that for half an hour, it takes everything out of you.
So you must have a really serious core.
So waking up every morning to like go to train, and then it's a big motivation to going towards the races, and then knowing that I've prepared for the races and I'm ready to go tackle the race.
Tristan's days are really long, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we can hear.
Straight from there, he's got to go to school. From school, he's going to... So you got to mix it up and just make sure it's working. But the dedication, I haven't seen dedication like this young man has for a long, long time.
Wow, I mean, it must be difficult being dad, mentor, coach, trainer, all at the same time.
It's actually, I really enjoy working and training junior riders, not just Tristan. I have been very fortunate, though, that, Tristan is an exceptional rider. And, the work and effort that you put in is definitely offset by how proud I am. But he works hard and he makes me happy, so it's good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, more from our adventuring duo coming up, so you're not going to miss them. They're going to be here with us till the end of the show. But right now, it is time for Felicia Endersby and her take on what is happening in the social media world. Okay.
All right, we kind of paused live for like just a few seconds. Don't worry, everything.
Just freeze.
Good. Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Let's come 3. Okay, we're back live.
Now we're moving over from our adventuring duo, who will still be with us till the end of the show. But right now, it is time for Felicia Endersby and her take on what is happening in the world of social media.
Hello, Kwese Nation. It is the month of love, and I've got some stories that you guys are definitely gonna love. So, Real Madrid aren't the only ones eyeing out Benfica wonder kid João Felix, who's now dubbed the new Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, we've all heard that before. The 19-year-old has become one of the hottest prospects in Portuguese football over the past 12 months, since breaking into the Benfica first team. The gifted winger has netted 8 goals and registered 3 assists in just 12 starts across all competitions. Nicknamed the Hurricane Felix, the teenager is one of the youngest scorers in the Lisbon derby. Lakers' 42-point loss to Pacers is the worst so far of LeBron's career. LA is now 7-13 in its past 20 games, playing 18 of those without James, as he dealt with a left groin strain. Free-falling from 4th place to 10th in the Western Conference standings since Christmas Day. And all this with just 2 days left before Thursday's NBA trade deadline. But the crowd at Bankers Life Fieldhouse offered a loud reminder of what's at stake this week, chanting, "LeBron's gonna trade you." German MMA fighter Maurice Adolf is an exact clone of UFC star Conor McGregor. And yes, it's very weird. The strut, the entrance, the warm-up, the strikes, literally all of it. Maurice has modeled his entire life after Conor McGregor. Even his striking is super similar to McGregor's. It helps that he's a lefty. It will be interesting, though, to see what kind of name he can make for himself with this gimmick. But we don't really expect to see McGregor versus Adolf anytime soon. Keep sending in your pics and comments, and I'll feature them on one of our coming segments. See you next week.
This should be funny.
I tell you what, that just put the perfect mood in the studio. Because
Right.
that's exactly right. Like on that little
I
motorcycle.
feel like that would be you and me if we were to try that.
Yeah, but I feel
we're
like
not
I'll
gonna do
beat you
that.
though. Hey, like
Yeah,
I feel like.
you'd beat me to fall down first. Right, now last Saturday, Hugo Batika got to experience all the action and adrenaline of the Monster Energy LW Mag King of the Whip competition. Whew. Let's see what Hugo and the team got up to.
We're in the north of Johannesburg, South Africa for the third edition of the Monster Energy and LW Mag King of the Whip. Riders from across the continent will battle it out for a share of the grand prize of 40,000 Rand.
There's so much in the process. I mean, from the first one, just putting it together, it's almost like an experiment. And with it going off so big, the second and third obviously came a little bit easier in terms of making sure it happens. But there's different steps in each event, obviously trying to make it bigger and better for each one. So yeah, number 3 now, and it turned out looking good.
Yeah, obviously I was going to say that the fans are a big part of it.
Yeah.
You're happy with the numbers that you've got here?
No, for sure. I mean, we try to make it as accessible as possible for the fans. It's good for the riders, good for the fans. It's free entry. People can come, have a good time, get to experience like a Monster Energy experience, watch the riders riding, see some of the biggest tricks in South Africa. So, you know.
Now you're the defending champion. Are you ready to keep the ground?
Yeah, man, definitely. We've had an awesome few rounds so far. You had Josh on your show the other day, and he's about to go up now. So super keen to see what he's got. So we've got a couple of other boys, Mike Royston and Nick DeVitt from Jungle Rush FMX as well. And yeah, I can't wait to see them perform, and I'm amped to hit it up in round 4. Obviously, I've been training the last few weeks trying to get ready for this event. It's a little bit different here, as this is a step-down feature, so we have a little bit more hang time. So yeah, hopefully I can hang out the tracks a little bit bigger and longer than usual. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to have a lot of different tracks, as well as a couple of different flip variations. So yeah, just keep an eye out and you're going to check it out.
I feel awesome, man. This is such a cool event. It pretty much links up the freestyle motocross riders and the motocross riders out here sharing the biggest whips, trying to see who can throw the biggest ones. So, man, this is an awesome event going on here. I've been lucky enough to be practicing with some of the best freestyle riders in the country at the Jungle Rush compound. So I've had practice prior to this event. I think it's the chances are 50-50. It depends on what you're doing, how you crash, you know. So you can't really say. So I'm looking forward to making my international debut in the USA.
That's some really impressive stuff that they were doing there. Like, as for me, I just prepared to be on this side of the fence, watch and take videos, not to be in the entertainment. No way. No way. But it was really awesome. I really enjoyed it today. I've been a fan of motocross and bike for my life since a little kid, so yeah, this is my kind of scene, my environment, and I'm at home here. So yeah, this is definitely something that it is like a cult following, and people are just starting to join it and really enjoy it more and more. So it's good to see that. It's a real family event, I think. You know, the kids must get into it. You know, got to teach the future generations to love bikes as much as we do, and yeah, it's good to have people get involved and like the sport. Yeah, those guys are on top of their game. They are the guys to beat. I think tonight they are both really on form, and I think it's going to be hard to beat them. They are the men to beat. Last year, 2018, Jalen Golden won it. Can you do it again? It's possible. He is throwing the biggest whips and he's getting underneath that bike, so he might win it, but I think Nick's not going to let him have it so easily.
So let's tell us, it's been absolutely exciting for us to watch and view.
Oh, it's amazing. This is my second year being here. I've enjoyed it so much. We've seen like the guys literally, they just get better and better. I'm so amazed. Such a fun goal.
What about those performances?
I love it. Jalen Goldman's bringing the most. I absolutely
Now,
love
did
what
you guys
he's doing
listen
today. I hope he
closely?
takes the title for a second
Because
time.
we were
if not
about to
him,
announce
then, Cup
four winners.
or Maddie Milan.
You guys have been taking
Those are my favorites.
some beautiful
Absolutely.
photos.
Well, it's over to you guys in the studio. Bonakawa, we've had an absolutely fabulous time. You guys enjoyed in the studio, and as for me and the two ladies, see you soon.
Please leave to the front.
And that was our man, Hugo Dubatika, right at the Monster Energy King of the Whip. And we can clearly see the best part for him. Like, he was just so happy with those ladies. Huh?
Like, Hugo, really? Are you sure you didn't go for the ladies? Hey?
It looks like he did that.
But you know what? That's what motorsports is all about, bringing people together. And Kwese Sports did promise you some exclusive content. Now, we're still with Graham and Tristan, our wonderful guests that are in studio tonight.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about T-Bone Racing.
Yes.
And, you know, this is your vision. So why don't you take it away?
A couple of years ago, I noticed a big gap in the age groups of riders. So you had your senior category, and then from about the age of 17 down to 10, there was a big void of riders, and I was very worried about the future of the sport and the feeder system that was being generated in this country, or the lack of feeder system. So I came up with the T-Bone Racing dream, should I say. We created a club. We then created junior enduro racing, and we got close to 100 riders in the junior class on some of the races, and those riders are now feeding the system and starting to move through. And you know, I've realized my dream.
Wow.
That's really...
You know, we focused a lot on development riders as well. We took a portion of the entries, and we tried to bring a little bit of a development push through the system as well. But as you know, in this day and age, everything takes money, big money, this sport especially. So if our dream to bring a development team into the country and actually push it hard, you know, obviously we're going to need some backup, some partners involved to take us to the next level.
Speaking about partners and backup, you know, it's
reading my mind.
sponsors and having people really join you on board. How difficult is that? What do you go through? Who do you speak to? How long do you need to wait before there's confirmations? Because I mean, you've got 100 kids that you've brought through the system. I think that's a great way to say grassroots level, you know, in enduro sports is kind of doing something.
Definitely. I think, first of all, you know, what we've tried to shy away from is calling the people that join us sponsors. We like to call them partners, because I think in this day and age, especially some athletes consider a sponsor as somebody that just hands over support. As an event, as an organization, we have tried to grow a thinking where whoever the rider is or the event is, they need to reciprocate and give back to the people that are sponsoring. So, for example, you know, Motel and KTM Cape Town and the guys that have been on board, and Liet, that have really been on board from the beginning. We've had to reciprocate and give them back, and that's why we create as much video content as we do. You know, social media is definitely the new age, and we have to push it hard. But finding partners is difficult. It is really difficult.
Yeah.
Tristan, you've got sponsors already. We can see that you're already wearing your garb and everything, so congrats on that. But like, does it take away the joy, the natural vibe that you get when you're riding, when you know you have a sponsor that you have to make sure that you're meeting the terms?
To tell you the honest truth, no. It motivates me in a way to do as best as I can at all times. So as I was talking about earlier, the training that I do in the morning. So then if Dad comes through and he says I'm slacking a little bit, he goes, what will Motel think?
You lied.
Are you sure you're 12 years old? Are you sure you're 12? Because his mind frame is like grown up. Yeah.
Right? I don't think you're 12.
No, he's not 12.
Oh my goodness, I love this relationship that you have with your son. I mean, Tristan, you're a junior Motel Power Sports brand ambassador. Added pressure or an incentive to ride?
Back to what we were saying, it's more of a goal to achieve, to get better and better, to make them happy, but still enjoy what I'm doing.
All right, wow, I love that. Well, let's have a look at Tristan's clip on Motel.
Hi, I'm Tristan Hedgcock. I race for the KTM Cape Town team.
I race 85cc in the junior enduro classes. It's very important for me to be a motor power sports ambassador. Reason being is because it's such a big worldwide brand. It's really awesome to be a part of the family. I hope to one day race overseas and maybe even be under the motor banner. Never been there.
So you're pretty much telling us that you had never done that up until the time you're recording this.
I'd never been to the track before.
Oh wow!
I was still saying, don't tell Mom you were on the MX.
And how was it? Like, was it just?
It was so much fun. I got to ride with one of my heroes, Brian Kappa and David Goosen, and then Nanda Close as well.
Oh wow!
It was awesome.
So do you see this as the long haul for you? Do you think that you're going to go professional, or this is just for now?
Well, I bet it's not only me, but many people in the world really want to turn their hobbies into something that they earn money from.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's where I want to go, and yeah, it's basically just a dream that I want to achieve.
Actually, how do you balance school and riding?
Yeah.
Well, I've been lucky enough to have Tableview Primary backing me quite a lot. My teacher and the HOD of the grade have given up every single break this year and an hour after school to help me get ahead, because while I'm gone in America, I'm going to be missing the assessment week. So when I get back, it's 2 days to recover from jet lag if I have, and then it's...
Well, you definitely will have it.
Love that. Well, speaking about America, very quickly, as we're running out of time on the show, you head to America for a massive race. Tell us about that quickly.
So it's actually pretty exciting for me in a way, because I've got to race against some of the best riders in the world. I hardly know any of the guys, so riding against them, it's going to be, how good are they? Those are the two, that's one of the questions, and then how well am I going to do? Definitely my goal is to be on the podium, and if the bike goes well, my training comes in and my head's in the right place.
Wow, that's power right there, Africa. You heard that. That's power right there. Oh, that's all we have time for tonight. I can't believe it. We always ask for more time.
And they don't listen to us.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, quickly, where can people get in touch with you on social media?
So my biggest platform would be Instagram.
Oh, I love your biggest platform.
One of.
Right?
You can go follow me at Tristan Hedgcock, and then that's where I'll be documenting my trip. And
oh, love that.
give me a follow and you'll see all about it.
Oh, that's great. Graham?
There we go.
Yeah. Hey, Z.
Oh man, I'm like, I think I'm your biggest fans right now, guys. I'm like, yes, winners right here.
Yeah. Well, Africa, I don't know what to say, but as the saying goes, à toute l'Afrique qui nous suit, à la prochaine. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
Oh, guys.
It's